3 beginner-friendly sublimation projects that you can make today. Some of these may seem intimidating, but I promise you, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make them. Hi, I'm CrystalAnn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my crafting tutorials. Are you new to sublimation, or maybe you're a pro and you want to get in on some of these trending crafts? For example, one of them that we're going to do is these wind spinners. They are super trendy right now, and I was like, we have got to make one of these. So we're going to make one of these guys right here, and we're actually going to use the bigger heat press. Now for this, I did use my Sawgrass SG-1000 because I did have to print these on 11 by 17 paper. Now keep in mind, they do make different size wind spinners, so you can definitely get these smaller so you can print them off with your 8.5 by 11. I'm going to show you guys how to sublimate a 3D design sublimation tumbler in the convection oven. So today we're going to be using an oven that is actually made for sublimation. So we're going to be using that today, but you could definitely do this with your tumbler press. I'll have the heat settings down below. And for our last project, you guys want to make sure you stick around all the way to the end because you're not going to want to miss this one. Let me show you guys really quick. Whenever you guys see a tumbler or a sublimation blank like this, you may get very intimidated because of the two different sizes at the top and the bottom. And also, this is made out of polymer, so it feels like plastic. So you're thinking, well, how do I heat press this without melting it? So today we are going to also make this guy inside of the sublimation oven. With one of these, you really want to use a sublimation oven as well as shrink wrap, which I'll show you guys here in just a bit. First things first, let's start off with our skinny tumbler and get it in the oven because it's going to bake for 6 minutes, and then we'll work on our wind spinner. For our 3D design, we're going to be using this really cool one right here. So I'll actually link you guys to this bundle down below, but this is what is trending all over the place right now, not only with the tumblers, but on coffee mugs and all sorts of fun stuff. There is cats, dogs, you name it, so many different designs in 3D. So we're going to be doing this. I've already sized this out. Now what I simply did was took my tumbler. You want to remove your lid and straw right away. And then you're just simply going to take a tape measure. I preferably like to use these ones right here, these sewing rulers. And then what you're simply going to do is you're going to measure this. So we're just going to take our tumbler with our tape measure, and then you're going to measure all the way around. And what you want to do is leave yourself 1/4 of an inch on each side. So right here I've got 9 1/4. So I'm going to do about 9 1/2, 9.75. And then you're going to do the same thing with your height. So I'll bring it over here. And so I've got 8. So I'll probably do about 8 1/2 high. So you just want to make sure and look at that. So what I would do is my paper's 8 1/2 by 11. So I would actually do this 8 1/2 by the, say, 9.75 on that paper. So that's how I would do that. So we've got that measured, it's ready to go. So for the next thing you're gonna want to take is a lint-free cloth. Now remember, if you're using a tumbler press, you can still follow along with these instructions. So we're just simply going to take a nice clean cloth. I like to use these eyeglass cloths here, and you're just simply going to make sure your tumbler is clean of any sort of oils and debris. Next up, you're going to simply take your design, and then you're just going to center your tumbler, trying to keep your hands off of it as much as you can. So you can kind of get that centered from top to bottom. And then you're just going to want to make sure that your paper is centered as well. So I'll just kind of scoop that guy around, playing around with it until it's nice and centered. And then if you guys have been following along with my Temu haul, I actually hauled this guy in. And what this does is going to help hold and clamp this down. Let me get this back in place. It's going to help clamp this guy for us and make it a whole lot easier to tape. So now that that guy's holding that like a third hand, we're going to go ahead and grab our heat tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab me a couple pieces so I can get the top and the bottom tape down. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Get the top. And then I'll go ahead and start to scoop my way down. So I'm going to go ahead and get the middle. All right. And then we're also going to get the bottom. Now a little tip here, sometimes I'll actually tape my side like that, and then I'll pull because it'll kind of give you a handle to pull it nice and tight. So that's all I simply do is I get 3 pieces going on, something about like that. And the next thing we want to do is put this in some shrink wrap. When it comes to shrink wrap, it comes in many different shapes and sizes, so you guys can actually sublimate on bowls. There's all sorts of different things, so we're actually going to use a wider one for this one here, and this one is a little bit taller. So what we're going to do, now that we have it taped and ready to go, we are going to insert this right inside of here. All right, so you're just simply going to slide that right inside, get it nice and centered. You definitely want that centered. Now you can use a heat gun to secure this and it'll shrink wrap around it, but honestly, you don't even have to do that. So you already want your sublimation oven ready to go. I have mine set at 365. This one has a top and bottom plate that has heat. So I've set both of those to 365. Yours probably just has one. And then we're gonna put it for 6 minutes. So we're gonna open this guy up. And I'm just gonna lay this guy in here. You wanna be very careful, and then it's gonna shrink wrap. Hopefully you guys can see that action, and it just shrink wrap right around it. Set it 6 minutes, and then I've just hit go. So it's gonna kind of beep, letting you know it's doing its thing, and it's taken off. So while that is baking in there for the 6 minutes, most times what I like to do at that 3-minute mark, I'll actually rotate it, and then let it go the last 3 minutes. So 365 for 6 minutes. While that guy is baking in the oven, let's move on to our next project. So we are going to be sublimating this really fun wind spinner. Now you may look at this when you buy it and you're like, but the wind spinners, they have all these pieces that are going around. You're gonna bend this in place here in just a minute. So one thing that you have to pay attention to is there's actually a film on this. So I'm gonna bring it down here so I can show you. So you just wanna take your fingernail, you could take your Cricut scraper tool, and you want to peel this off. So hopefully you guys can see all that, and you wanna make sure you get every bit of this off every single layer. Now that we have that side, we have to do the same thing to the back. And there we have it. So both sides are completely free and clear of that wrap. Next up, this is the beautiful design that we're going to be using. There is so many different designs out there for these wind spinners. So it's going to actually print out a very big design like this. So you're going to notice there's no marks because it will come through here in just a minute when we go to press this. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna get this guy up here just like so, making sure there is no debris on my paper. Trying to keep your hands off this guy and just kind of hold it on the side so we don't put any more fingerprints on here. We're gonna put this right up here just like so. And then what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna be very, very careful, and we're gonna place this guy right on top. So I actually seen in the Amazon review where I bought these ones from, somebody said that they pressed it 385 for 100 seconds and it did both sides at the same time. So we're gonna test it out. So what we need to do is be very careful. So you would actually wanna line this up on your heat press, and then you wanna go ahead and layer this one on here, and we're just gonna add a little bit of tape. Now I'm gonna show you right here and then carefully move this guy over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple pieces of tape. So you wanna make sure with your paper that you have enough room to tape these guys down so they're holding together. So I'm just double checking myself, and here. So I've got 3 little pieces of tape here just to kind of hold it. So now I'm gonna very carefully take this over to the press. You wanna make sure that your press was preheated 385 for 100 seconds. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and apply heat to that lower platen for around that 100 seconds just to get that bottom platen nice and hot, so I have heat coming from the bottom as well as the top. Very carefully, I'm gonna place this guy on parchment, and that guy's ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the oven open so we can get that out of there. Get another piece of parchment on the top just to protect my press, and we're gonna put this on the heat press. All right, so we're gonna let that guy go 385 for 100 seconds. In the meantime, let's go ahead and grab this guy out. Now you see, I didn't have enough time to flip this around like I normally would, and that's all right. So you just wanna go ahead and set this guy out of here, put it on a heat resistant, whether you have like the Cricut pad. I've got granite countertop, so mine is protected up to like thousands of degrees. So I've got this here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my tweezers here and start to peel this off. You guys know from my Temu haul that I only got 1 glove. I can't find my other gloves, and so I'm actually gonna come in here with a pair of scissors first. That sometimes will actually help to get it started. And then you just wanna get you an area going. So I'm just gonna snip in here. It's best to work while it's nice and hot. It just comes off so much easier. So I'm just getting an area started, and I'm just gonna try to keep this guy going. All right, and in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and open up our heat press. All right, so we're gonna finish peeling this off. And here we go for our big reveal. How gorgeous is this 3D design? So, so pretty. I love it. Let's see if we can find our seam. So here is our perfect seam, as you guys can see there. Oh my goodness, look at those colors. It is so cool. That 3D design is absolutely amazing. So you guys can totally see while everybody is just raving over these 3D sublimation tumblers. And they are honestly so, so easy to make. So you guys seen that? 365 for 6 minutes right there in the sublimation oven. If you guys are following along, you could definitely use your convection oven or your tumbler press. Now let's go ahead and peek on our wind spinner. Let's see if both sides work. So the first side is gorgeous. You guys can see that there, and it's already cooled down because it's on the granite. Let's check out the back side. And it worked. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? 385, 100 seconds. We were able to sublimate both sides at one time. So you just want to make sure that you are not going to be shifting that design. So I'd highly recommend to do that over at the heat press. But then again, if you're heating that lower platen, you may want to just do it here and be very careful. These are so affordable. I think I got a 4-pack. I'll link you down below to the exact ones that I've purchased. Now let's make this thing spin. What you want to do, this is where a lot of people probably just hang this thing and think, oh, it's done. But it's definitely not. Trust me, I would have done the same thing. I even had to look at it too, and I was like, well, mine's not like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to carefully push these. There's probably a better way. So we are going to start to twist these, all right, just a little bit, just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to keep twisting. So you can go ahead and just push the center here. That really helps. And push that guy out. And look at it. See? It was that fast we were able to do this. So if you guys purchase these and you guys are like, what the heck? Mine doesn't do that. Now we have it going. Now it also includes the hook here. Once again, there's different sizes. So if you have a smaller sublimation printer than the SG-1000 or an Epson that could obviously do the bigger sizes, don't feel bad. You could definitely purchase the smaller sizes, so make sure you check those out. Now, if you feel like you need to bend this out more, you can definitely do so. And then it's just gonna spin like this on the tree. How cool is this? I'll show you guys those colors one more time. I think it came out absolutely amazing. You guys let me know in the comments below if you guys are going to be making the wind spinner or the 3D tumbler. I definitely want to know. Now that this guy is completely cooled down, I'm going to insert our lid in our straw, and there we have it. It is so pretty. I really, really love that. I'm going to show you guys that one more time as well. Highly recommend you guys try and make one of these 3D tumblers. Even if you're going to make any sort of sublimation tumbler, these are so much fun. And honestly, I know that sometimes these seem so intimidating, but honestly, they're pretty easy to make. Now let's get into our most intimidating sublimation blank today, which is going to be this tumbler right here. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. It has this insert like this that you're just going to pull out, right? We want to set that guy out of the way, so you should have this guy. I'm going to be using this design right here. I'm going to show you guys. Y'all know that I love Highland cows. If y'all have been following me for a while, y'all know I'm obsessed. So this is a 2-part design. You're going to print out this piece, and then you're going to have this piece right here, so your bottom. So you have these 2 pieces. So many cute ones out there, but this is going to be the one we're doing. So what I've done is I actually took this inside Canva, sized it out. I actually printed this on an 8.5 by 14. So if you guys have the Sawgrass SG-500 or an Epson, you could probably print on 8.5 by 11. You can for sure do it with the SG-500. So definitely make sure you check that out. So let's go ahead and start with wrapping the bottom first. So look at this, all right? So you're going to look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's all of these little grooves. Don't you worry, we've got it. So we are going to go ahead and get this guy lined up here. So I'm just going to get it up here and kind of line it up like this. Now that we have something like this, we're going to take some heat tape. I'm going to hold this guy in place, and we're going to get one here, making sure this guy is nice and tight. So you really want to make sure we've got it good to go. So we're going to get that one there. And then when we do our shrink wrap, it's going to really squeeze on this piece here, and that's what's going to help get those nice and perfect. So now let's work on the top. For our next piece, you just want to go ahead and line this guy up. I like to line mine up with the top there. You can kind of see that top line. And so we're going to do this, and then I'll bring it down. And you're going to notice that it kind of wants to fold over like this. So you're just going to play around with this until you've got it perfect, just like so. So once you have that, we are going to take our tape. Once again, you really want to make sure this is nice and tight. Get a piece of tape there. I'm going to get a piece of tape here and one more here. Once again, we're gonna take some Sublimate shrink. This one is much bigger than the last time. We're just gonna get this guy right inside. Once it's starting to go there, we're just gonna get that nice and centered. Once again, you really need it in the middle, so that way whenever it goes to squeeze around it, it's going to get the top and the bottom. So we are gonna go ahead and put this guy inside. So we're gonna open it up. We're gonna carefully place it down. Same thing, we're gonna do 6 minutes. So 365 for 6 minutes. This guy's almost ready to go. And guess what? I found my gloves, so I've got them on. I'm ready to go. It's so much better to work with 2 gloves, I'm gonna be honest. All right, so we're gonna get this guy out of here, just like so. Shut this, and I'm gonna turn it off. Here we go, moment of truth. This guy, I'm gonna show you guys, it's pretty shrunk around it, so I'm hoping everything's gonna be good to go, but you never know, all right? So here we go. So we're gonna do just like we did last time, and I'm going to cut into this, and you wanna work while it's hot. That is my biggest tip to you as a newbie, is get in there while it's hot. So we are going to just get our scissors here and then just peel, peel, peel until you can't. Now you guys let me know in the comments below, are you new to sublimation? Is it on your wish list? Or have you been a pro, but this is some of the things that you have not tried yet? I wanna know down below. All right, so we're gonna pop off that first one because it's already coming off. Here we go. Oh my gosh, look at how cool that is. I love it too because this is like a matte look because there's no gloss. Amazing, this came out so, so cool. Let's keep going. All right, so we're gonna pop off of the bottom. So we are gonna get it back in here. I'm gonna start from the bottom here. So I'm just gonna get another little snip and pull. It just came off on me, so that's fine. Perfect. How amazing is this? It is beautiful. I love that. All right, so let's check out our seams. So this one right here, we've got that little seam right here. This design right here is really cool. So the flowers just kind of go together so you don't even realize that there is a seam. So I love that, but how cool is this? Now you guys let me know in the comments below, did you even know that you can make things like this? And did you even realize that you could sublimate on something that is basically plastic in a sublimation oven? It is so cool. If you guys have been in the market or wanting a sublimation oven, I will tell you guys so far, highly recommend this guy. We're definitely gonna be putting it to use more. So you guys will be seeing this in future tutorials. So if you guys wanna see more on this sublimation oven, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you guys have a sublimation tumbler press and you would prefer to see more videos on that too, definitely let me know as well. Because you know with the tumbler press, there's also different attachments so you can press different objects, different sizes and all of that stuff. But with this guy, I will say it was awesome. And one thing is, you guys seen me tell you that I normally rotate these and I forgot. So I didn't do it with this one either because I forgot. There is actually 2 heat sources coming from the top and the bottom. So you don't have to rotate in here at all. 365 was absolutely perfect. And those instructions came with this book. Most times whenever you purchase stuff like this, the instructions are not the exact same. They were. It was 365 for 6 minutes. Now this one right here, I just went with the same exact settings for this because where I actually purchased these ones from, which I'll have it linked down below, the settings were 400 degrees for 6.5 minutes. But I thought if we can sublimate this for 365, I'm gonna stick with the 365. If you guys are a part of my Besties membership, you guys know that you get your free printables every single month. And for the month of July, we actually have a heat guide coming out, and it's going to be for your Cricut projects as well as sublimation and DTF. So I will have those tips and tricks included in that heat guide. The last thing you need to do is put your insert back. You definitely want to let this guy completely cool down before you do this. But what we're going to do is we are going to get this on here just like so. And then you just want to push down. So you can kind of pop your top like this. And just like that, it is snapped on. So you just want to give it a little bit of a tap there. And then you're going to be able to pull this guy off. And there it is. How cool is that? And now look at it, right? It has that black lip on the top for this design. It just looks so cool with it too because of the black in the design. How amazing is this? How many of you guys felt intimidated at the very beginning of this video when you seen this blank? This has so many different shapes and sizes going on with it. It was like, how are we going to do this? And now, how many of you guys think that you can accomplish this and that you guys are going to try it? I love it. This is going to be one of my favorite projects that we've done here today. You guys let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. Which one are you guys going to be recreating? Is it the wind spinner, the 3D tumbler, or is it going to be the amazing, I believe these are 30-ounce tumblers. This is a polymer tumbler, if you will. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys have found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and comment down below. Once again, if you guys are new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well as that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my crafting tutorials.